I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the emergency exits are located in the back of the room and to my right. If there's an emergency in the building, please don't use the elevator. Use the stairs. If you need help getting out of the building, please ask one of the commissioners. We'll start off with introduction of commissioners, starting to my right.
Christopher Morlock.
Cheryl Holbert.
Jay Hildreth.
Rick Metz.
Bob Spoerl.
Linda Comrie.
Eileen Chabot.
Pam Pirro.
Val Connolly.
Land Manager Elizabeth Carver.
And I'm the chair, Riccardo Buzzanga. We also have our council liaison, Mr. Charles Foote, joining us tonight. And we're sharing mics. That means we must have a pretty good group, right? I don't think I ever remember sharing mics before, Charlie. I think that's a first.
Might be a first.
Yeah.
No one's getting a picture of it right now. That's good. Documenting history.
First order of business on our agenda today is the approval of minutes. They were sent to you by our secretary, Jay, and you also have a copy in front of you. Is there any changes necessary to those minutes? Showing Eileen
I have a few comments.
Okay.
Throughout the minutes, like starting on page 2, when it talks about, I think it meant stewardship management, or like there's no consistency with regards to the plan for the conservation easement, because sometimes it says, like on page 2, it says steward management plan. On another page, it says easement, stewardship easement plan. I think like a consistent name should be chosen, and then every time it's referred to, it should be the same name. So that's one thing. And then I had, let's see. On page 4, the second paragraph, where I talked about the wording in the easement, it says Commissioner Chabot described the documents where it read the land would be turned into a wildlife management refuge. What I really had said was that it seemed like to me in reading the document that it was being turned into a wildlife management refuge. The actual document did not read that way. It just appeared to me like that's all we were allowed to do was manage wildlife there. So if that could be reworded, I'd appreciate it.
Anything else, Eileen?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so on the first part of Eileen's suggestion, are the minutes taken as spoken? So those, when we were referring to that easement, it was the way it was spoken. So I'm not sure if that would warrant a change to the minutes, and I'll defer to Councilor Foote
I remember what I said, Rick.
Whatever was said is what's documented.
Right, so yeah, on your second change, Eileen, I think you're right. It's what you said, but I think...
I said it seemed like, you know.
Yeah, that was your, I was talking about on your first suggestion, when what was being referred to as differently a number of times.
Oh, they mean the plan?
Yeah, I think that's the way it was spoken. The second one...
because it's kind of confusing, you know, when you start looking at, like, there's several different pages where it's referred to differently.
Yeah, but I think the minutes are capturing what was actually said, so
Okay.
That's what the people
All right.
said. On your second, and if I think that's, am I understanding that right, Charlie? Yeah.
Right, you can't reassign intent once something's said.
Once it's written. On the second one, where it was actually your statement
Yep.
that may have been heard differently, then I think on that one, we should probably make that adjustment, Jay, to the minutes. and have it reflect exactly what Eileen said. So Eileen, just for Jay, could you be specific exactly on what you said?
I remember what I said was, in reading the easement documents, it seemed to me as if the only thing we were going to be allowed to do was have a wildlife management refuge there, because we weren't allowed any public access, we weren't allowed any trails or any activities. But that the state fish and game were going to monitor the wildlife there. So
is there a specific sentence in the minutes that we could change?
That I could give him?
Yeah,
Okay,
so he
sure.
could change it, because these have to be then
That's
ratified
easy.
and sent in.
Okay. You can say Commissioner Chabot described, in reading the documents, that it appeared the land would be turned into a wildlife management refuge. And without any, the rest of it is fine, and without any educational opportunities there, it would be a loss for anyone to realize any potential environmental awareness or educational opportunities, and the town is losing out in that aspect. So that part's fine.
We're going to have the two secretaries just sort that out.
Yep,
so we can make the necessary change.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
Scratchy throat. Huh? I think I might have some cough drops, I don't know. No. Probably my other coat.
All good? Yeah,
Do you need any further clarification, Jay? Do you have that? Do you think you got it?
I may talk to Eileen briefly after the meeting.
No, we need to do
Can we get it straight now?
Yeah, we got to get it done now. Yeah.
Okay.
So Eileen, let's get it completely clear for
Okay.
Jay, so we can.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
It's just
And
a
just-
matter of a few words.
And
to
just
change,
just the
that's all.
words, just the actual words that need to be
Yeah.
changed. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing else.
All right. Instead of where it read, Jay, you can say, it appeared like,
Okay.
okay, it appeared like, would be fine to just.
Okay.
Yep. Simple change.
Thank you for making that
Yep.
specific.
Okay, great. All right. Anyone else regarding the minutes? Mr. Metz.
Yeah, under Commissioner Metz's motion to exit non-public meeting, and then we go to move to seal the non-public meeting minutes, shouldn't read indefinitely. Move to seal the non-public meeting minutes indefinitely.
Okay, let's have the two secretaries sort that out.
Page 9. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
So page 9 at the bottom there.
Yep, got it. Seal the minutes indefinitely.
Jay, you have that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, any other changes to the minutes? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those minutes as amended.
Move to approve the minutes of the March 16, 2026 Conservation Commission as amended.
We have a first by Mr. Metz,
Second.
second by Eileen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion carries. It's a lot of minutes on that meeting. Chair's report is our next order of business. We've been busy. I feel like I'm kind of the quarterback. I've become a quarterback of this committee now. We have a lot of people working behind the scenes between meeting. I continue to talk to Beth at least once a week at length, setting the direction of the commission, trying to organize and highlight our goals. And she's feeding back to me and things that she's doing with the subcommittees. So we're all systems go. We are developing, we're in the middle of developing, that I'll share once we have completely developed, a scoring procedure for the commission's goals. We have a lot of balls in the air, and just to make sure that we're doing the things that make the most sense for our community and for the goals of the commission, stay at the top of our list for goals, and the more ancillary stuff that can be done when things are, we're not so busy doing the most important stuff. And that's all I have. Chair's as far as correspondence, we did get a newsletter from South Views Conservation for Migrating Marshes in a Changing Climate, and I will send that to my left. You can look at it as we continue. Our next order of business is officer elections. Before we get into that, are any of the present officers opposed to maintaining their position as officers of the commission? Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, I'm going to entertain a motion by Mr. Metz.
Move to nominate Mr. Riccardo Buzzanga for another term as chair.
We have a first by Mr. Metz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Eileen. All those in, do we need a roll call on this one? Let's, we'll start with a roll call, starting to my right. Chris is not seated.
Yes.
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 Not seated.
Yes.
Yes.
The chair votes yes. I will make a motion to nominate Richard Metz as vice chair. And I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cheryl. So there's a first on the floor by myself, second by Cheryl to make Mr. Metz vice chair. I'll take a roll call also on that one to my right.
Yes.
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 Chair votes yes. Mr. Chair has been elected to vice chair for another term.
Move to appoint Eileen Chabot as treasurer.
I'll second.
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
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 Chair votes yes.
Move to nominate Jay Hildreth as secretary.
I'll second.
Yes.
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 Chair votes yes.
And all your pay is tripled.
Everybody gets through that.
Just saying.
All right, officer elections are complete. Our next elections will be, well, actually, appointments will be that of our committees. I'm going to wrap them all up in one, but before we continue with that, is there anybody that would like to move off the chair of a committee? I think the members, we can move kind of at our, without any approval. So if any of the present chairs of committees want to relinquish that seat, please let me know now. Okay, seeing none. I would like to make a motion for the following chair people to chair these following committees. Personnel, Mr. Metz. TRC, myself. Land Acquisition, Mr. Metz. State Compliance, Eileen. Public Outreach, Cheryl. Community Garden, Jay. Land Maintenance, Bob. Reporting Compliance, Val. And Property Management, myself. I need a second.
Second.
So first and second on the floor to, for the chair people of these committees. We'll start to my right.
Yes.
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 The chair votes yes. All right, committees are done. Next order of business is an update on the Broadview Annex. The Jay supplied a pretty detailed analysis of his. I don't think you need to read it again, Jay. We read the whole thing, but maybe go over it as highlights, and I'm sure you'll have some questions.
That's what I plan to. I'm only going to take 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, good. So Jay's going to highlight his plan and then take any questions that we may have. Okay, Jay.
Okay. Yeah, this document was just intended to lay down information and gather together new learnings and help to merge together a plan and next steps. I'll just mention that I did make a inquiry with the Heritage Commission in order to be able to describe a little bit more about what this property is and what was it in the past. It's a fairly unique piece of land. It's had a lot of man-made additions, like giant stone walls that surround most of the 3.4 acres. So I want to get more information. I haven't heard back from them. And so the next steps, I am trying to create a development plan, and this is the first draft of it. And also, I wanted to review permitting process at a high level. So I just took down information basically from different sources and documented it for future use when we come to the point where we have to decide, are we going to do a permit or not. There are exemptions to wetlands permits that could apply to this land. The certain ones that are exempt are if there are certain recreational activities that are low impact, such as hiking, bird watching, that don't involve the construction of permanent structures or alteration of the wetlands or surface waters. So it would probably be favorable to see that we have to do less permitting, but should not be daunted if we do have to. Again, I've researched that there is a definite path to getting permits, different step-by-steps, and there is assistance from the state. According to EMV WT 30902, mowing is allowed under certain conditions that could come to a great advantage because the land wants to grow back into meadow and then into woodlands, and will become very dense and really hard to try to move in there. So we can do mowing, and under the certain conditions that we do not do it during. Don't disturb the vegetation roots, which I can tell you that walking on there's a solid pack of roots, very intertwined, very supportable. I never found myself sinking into any kind of mud or anything else that I've worked in there since the snow melt. The ground should be dry enough to make the mowing passes and avoid ruts. The project shouldn't be located in a bog or designated prime wetland, which this is not. And I'm not sure if there's any 100-foot buffer rule at all. So I don't think so, but I'm posing that as a question to be answered. Yes, and I said that there's plenty of consultation guidance from the state and specific steps, and I have references to that should the time come. Now, with monitoring the 3 potential vernal pools, I started to walk on there and made some just brief logs in this document and taken photo images. There's a very definite drainage system that just was created by nature. It goes from south to north, down slope, goes into a culvert, then the culvert goes down alongside the road, there's a culvert that there's downhill to the west. I didn't see how far, where it goes on the western border, but this has been established, this probably for a long time. From this south to north channel, which is about 6 inches wide, 6 inches deep, maybe a little less, maybe 5 inches deep, it diverges to the northwest and then goes into the PVP1, which is the most significant pool that's on that property. And I've seen it going there about 4 different Wednesdays. I'm always choosing Wednesday to be consistent. That it goes up and down, and whenever there's been rain or more snow, or so there is a fluctuation. It's not all going down, down, down. It does vary with the rainfall. I'm looking for signs of wildlife. I'm seeing a little bit of pond plants, but no wildlife yet. If you listen at night, we know the established pools and marshes are starting to get the spring peepers and
Right.
and small frogs. So Valerie I've been working with her, and she has ideas, because there are very many ways to do this assessment. There are many organizations have their own forms and guidebooks, and there's different reasons to have them or not. Valerie has something she's used all the time. Basically, we'll be taking the same information. I've just documented all the different organizations that are offering for different reasons, and we may study that further and find that even though we've taken information, filled it out on a form, there may be an advantage to filling it out for another organization to get. I was reading that there's some kind of documentation statewide of vernal pools, so you could apply, just add it to the database for the state. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was paths, to identify where paths should go. And there are exemptions also for paths and needing permits, and we may have some of the exemptions here that we could use. I think that 90% of what we want to do for paths could be taken by the annual mowing, which would be probably in the fall. We don't know whether we need more than once. That would take care of most of the things. There may be a place for boardwalks. If you wanted to do a path that goes a loop around, you'd have to cross these 6 by 6 channels 3 times to go around. And again, we'll have more information as the season goes on. There's nothing to say yet about it. It's premature. There's more information required by observation. So I asked the question about wildlife habitat enhancement plan. I came up with that myself and reading, and also to factor in whether we determine that the PVPs become actual vernal pools. We simply have to follow the New Hampshire's latest wildlife action plan. It's everything we need. It specifies, it's more biology of species of animals that are present, and their habitats and how to encourage and enhance them. So I have also, almost done, so I'm considering a more passive approach versus adding native species, actually introducing ourselves native species. And again, I had mentioned that letting nature just grow back the plants is the majority of what has to be done. Also, though, the mowing in certain circumstances just for the path use, and also considering doing a survey and eliminating invasive plants. That can be fairly passive, but the addition of native species for diversity is more intensive, and it has to be balanced with the benefit for wildlife goals. And again, that will be seen in time and more study. So I'm asking for approval from the Conservation Commission to continue this pursuit. I anticipate that this will merge itself into the NHACC landscape scale management program. And I do recognize that program complements very well the goals that I've stipulated for this piece of land. So if you have any questions, you can ask me or just email me.
Any questions for Jay?
No. I noticed in your report you recommended that we discontinue allowing Public Works or the cemetery crew to store any leaves on the property. Is that?
Yes, that was the NRI that was performed by Norman Dew. Definitely was a strong recommendation to not do that. We do have that challenge with the gardening, community garden, to try to see what we can do. I walked onto that pile of leaves, sprayed for ticks, and yeah, it's very thick, and it already is chopped up, which is great for incorporating it into the garden. But there is a very large volume.
Something if we decide we're going to disallow that, we need to let them know.
I think Beth and I have that sorted out.
Yeah, we've,
Have you? Okay.
yeah,
Beth,
we've started to think about that.
Yeah, she can give it. You want to do it in your report?
Sure.
Talk about that?
Yeah,
Sure.
we can talk about that.
was
Any
the
other
only
questions for
question I
Jay? Nice work, Jay. It's a lot of work you're doing there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
So action items moving forward, Jay. You have Val helping you, right?
Yeah,
You need more help? You need more help from the commission?
I wouldn't mind anyone coming to take a walk. Eileen, come
I'd be
take a
happy
walk.
to help. I have a lot of knowledge of vernal pools if you want
Yeah.
that kind of help. Yep.
Yeah, let's, definitely engage the rest of the commission, get some help. What would you say your next, your next two action items are on it?
Well, we're doing the vernal pool studies, and we need to get familiar with the hydrology, of this land, what goes on with these channels, rivulets, whatever you want to call them. When I notice they're very active and flowing a lot, and they the PVP2 is at the southern end of that, where that is. So that, even though that happens to be under a shrub, the major part of that PVP is under a shrub, a big, large shrub. It's interesting. The PVP3 is also that way. It's just, there's shrubs just growing up out of pooling water.
So you're going to continue to, just continue to monitor it?
Yeah.
Charlie, is it Craig Durrett that's the environmental, who's the environmental?
There's an, it's not Sam. Sam's the engineer. I can see his face because he's in the TRCs with us.
Could you get me his info, and I'm going to forward that info to you, Jay. There's a town environmentalist
Okay.
that should probably be looped into this.
Great.
Any other questions for Jay? All right, nice work, Jay. All right, next we have our committee reports, and our first one is Jay again. Jay, you taking the whole meeting
Sure.
today.
He's on a roll.
So I'd mentioned our last meeting, subcommittee meeting that we had, and some action items from that. We are, some items for me in particular, and for Beth, was to do a seed starting video for Linda to film us, and I think she was able to do that with Beth, but I just ran out of time, and I had to do it outdoors. It was the best day. It was Wednesday, and she wasn't feeling well, so I tried to have 5 hands and do it. I don't know.
We're working on it. It'll be good. It'll be fine.
I hacked it up, but
You're a star. It's good.
I get through. But yeah, I just wanted to show planting onions and planting leeks. And I look forward to her merging those 3 videos. And then I'm going to put it on the Facebook and add some information about, one thing is, when do you start seedlings? What's the guideline, the guidance on that? You know, I was looking at some of the packages, and I had to sit down and really think it out here, line by line. It was kind of complicated. Because of course the last fall date is in our business on the gardening committee, the last fall date it's not up to us what that is. But so much is determined from that, including when we plant our plants to transplant them, when we do the tilling, and when we start planting. So I also posted to Facebook the soil tests that I had taken, and described the recommendations for the gardeners. And otherwise, we have our spring event starting 10 a.m. on the Saturday after tilling. We mentioned that we're going to also have our next meeting April 13th. At 6 p.m. And we're trying to meet in person, destination India. And that's it. We also, Beth will update you on the April 1st has come by, and that's the time for our gardeners to send in their requests for a plot. And I know that it was half full just a day or so ago, but I look forward to hearing from Beth what that is now.
More than half full. Thank you, Jay. Personnel, Mr. Metz.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, Joshua Brown is the environmental coordinator for the town.
Okay, thank you.
Joshua Brown.
Joshua Brown?
Yeah, he's the coordinator.
So you want to, Jay, introduce yourself to him, tell him what you're doing, and
Sure.
loop him in? Okay, Mr. Metz, personnel?
No updates on personnel. They're both still here, so that's a good sign.
Thank you, Mr. Metz. Public outreach, Cheryl?
Okay, I really want to thank Eileen and Linda and Beth in my absence for such a productive meeting, and we're meeting again this Thursday, Coffee Factory. There's a lot of talk about trail work events and possible dates for those, which we'll be confirming. And the Margie Ives, perhaps in July. Cornelison in August, Broadview, possibly 2 of them, late January and also September, and Cole Marsh in October. So, as I said, we'll be meeting this Thursday, and if there's any input that the commission would like to offer for that, we'll have to solidify those dates sooner than later. Eileen has offered to, in honor of Earth Day on the 18th, at Coffee Factory to pass out bags and gloves, which I think is awesome. And there's also an idea of a raffle floating around. Free entry, any photos also cleaning up in these trail work events, and with the possibility of maybe a gift card from the commission as an award for that. Yeah, and as I said, our next meeting is Thursday. So we have all of this, I think, just very, making progress with some great ideas, and now just a matter of nailing down the dates. And there'll be plenty to share with the community about that. And thank you too, Jay, for sharing about the garden, community garden. That's super super important. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Cheryl. Mr. Metz, TRC.
I've got 4 TRCs to report on. Beth, I'm trying to make sure that you get all the notices.
Thank you.
I asked Caroline to try and forward them to you. I noticed she didn't the last ones, so that's my fault.
I got
but
this. I'm going to be there Friday.
Okay. So the 4 listed, one was Lane Road subdivision.
Ricky, can I just interrupt you
Yep.
for a second? I'm not sure, does everybody know what a TRC is? Because we have some, yeah? I don't know if our newest commissioner.
TRC is Technical Review Committee, where the proposed project comes before all the department heads, and they iron out all the issues before it goes to the planning board, so the planning board doesn't have to go through all the stuff the TRC does. It's all done ahead of time. And it's fire, it's public works, it's police, it's environmental engineering, all those types of things that would go into building a property out. So that's what it is. And sometimes it requires more than 1, sometimes more than 2 TRCs to get the project before the planning board. There's certain criteria that if a plan meets certain criteria, then it comes before us. A minor subdivision, if it doesn't involve wetlands, doesn't come before us. If it's a minor subdivision, which is 3 or less, and it involves wetland impact, it comes before us. If it's 4 and over, no matter whether it impacts wetlands or not, it comes before us. So there's certain rules that are applied for a plan to come before us.
Thanks.
Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Metz.
Okay. The first is a Lane Road subdivision. There's an existing house on the lot. It's being done by McMaster Development. There is wetlands on the property. It's very deep in the property. If they were building both houses, I would have them come before us. The one house is, has the most wetland on it, but it's probably 300 feet away. The reason it had to go with TRC is they're subsized lots, 2-acre minimum on Lane Road, so they're like 1.9 acres. So in order to subdivide it, and the house is probably, the proposed house is 150 feet, almost 200 from any wetland impact. So that was one. They were a little surprised because I said it won't have, even though there's wetland impact, potential wetland impact, it's far enough away. There's no need to come before us because I was assured that McMaster Development does everything it can to protect wetlands when they develop a property, and that's coming from Liz Robideau and Mark LaRue, who've been around town a long time. So that's the reason that one didn't come before us. The rest are, I believe, the rest are all commercial developments. One is at 10 Manchester Road. It's a total tear down and redevelopment. Again, no wetlands impact. I read the construction details, and they all fit in environmentally friendly. They're all doing what they're supposed to be doing, silt fences, socks and drainage, all that kind of stuff. So that one, there's no need to come before us. The other was a small one at Royal T. They wanted permission to move some vacuums because of the 4A development. That is going to be fixed with an internal permits to move their vacuums. And unfortunately, their vacuums are 4 months out, so they didn't want to buy them until they had permission, so they're kind of behind the 8 ball. But I'm assuming they got permission from Carrie Owen. And the last is 12A Street. It's EPSI, and they're a testing facility for pressure washing tanks, things like that. There's no manufacturing on site, strictly a testing facility. I questioned them on a few things as far as drainage. They talked about expanding a building, whether their internal drain on the property was big enough. They said, yeah, it was sized for the whole roof because they're going to take their drainage and infiltrate it into the ground in the tank and then run it to their back, which is, they've got a fairly good-sized drainage area in the back, like almost like Derry Plumbing built that type of drainage area.
Is it just solution, like just water, or is there detergents going in the ground?
It's roof runoff. There's nothing in the building that's going to be flushed down the drain.
No
Everything they
detergents
use,
or chemicals?
no, everything they use for testing is reclaimed inside.
Okay.
So there's no impact to our sewer system or any chances of spillage outside. There's no internal drains in the building. So strictly a testing facility. And that's it. And we have more coming up.
Thank you, Mr. Metz. Next, we have state compliance. Eileen?
Okay, there's some events coming up that people might be interested in. There is an NHGCC sent this out. Make Your Turtle Sightings Count. It's on May 12th, 2026. It's a Zoom event, and it's at 5:30 p.m. And it's going to be recorded, so if you can't make it then, you could maybe watch the recording later. There's also an in-person event on turtles, land management practices for New Hampshire turtles. That's on June 8th, and that's going to be held in Walpole, New Hampshire. And if you want more information, you could find it on the NHACC website, excuse me. And you would need to go on there to register. It's a free event. You would be able to learn various habitat management practices. They would show you on that property what they're doing with turtles, and then also teach you how to implement practices on your own property. And it's sponsored by the Cheshire County Conservation District. Regarding rules, there's some public hearings coming up, alteration of terrain regulations. There's a public hearing on April 17th, from 2 to 3 in Concord at the DES. You could either attend in person or you can attend online via Microsoft Teams. And the point of contact is Edward McKenna. His number is 603-271-1023. And there's also a public hearing coming up for those who may be interested in what's happening with the drinking water rules. Environmental DW 300. That's coming up on April 30th, 2026 from 10 to 11. Also at DES at 29 Hazen Drive in room 208C. Again, also for that hearing, you also could attend either in person or online. And that's all I have.
Excuse me, Eileen, could you repeat the date of the alteration of terrain?
Yep, alteration of terrain, public hearing is April 17th.
Okay, thank you.
From 2 to 3 p.m. Yep. And you can also submit written comments for that up until Friday, April 24th, 2026 at 4 p.m. They'll accept written comments if you want to email your written comments.
Thank you, Eileen.
Yep.
Property management, we're working on 2 management challenges right now. One is a potential encroachment on a conservation property by a potential abutter that put some signs up over the line between the conservation property and the abutter's property. So we're working with that gentleman, and Beth and I have come up with another way to try to communicate with that person. The second one is a hazardous tree removal. Same thing, a butter property. We have some trees on the conservation property that are jeopardizing the owner's property, and Beth is quarterbacking some appraisals on the cost of taking those trees down. That's all we have on property management. Land maintenance, Mr. Spoerl.
We're gonna get together again this Thursday, and start planning on getting out onto the trails and stuff. Pretty much all the properties are snow-free, other than one or two little pockets here and there. But, good time to get out. That's it.
Thank you, Bob. On land acquisition, we still have 2 active projects. I want some guidance on the larger parcel. I've already sent out a communication to the smaller parcel, waiting to hear back, but the larger parcel that some of the commissioners are planning on walking, Do we still want to wait for that walk, or do you want, yes? You don't want me to proceed with entering into negotiations with that person?
We'd like to walk it, yeah.
All right,
We
so-
just haven't been able to do it yet.
Yeah, I get it. All right, so we're going to kick the can on that one, wait for some people to walk the property, and then bring that up. And then the third thing we have is the town. Anytime the town disposes of property that are taken through various means, whether it be tax, lien, or just property that they don't want to have, they send us the list and ask us if there's any conservation value of those properties. Now, normally those properties are very small parcels that, you know, in my 16 years, I think there might have been one occasion where one of those properties was appealing to us. So we have the list, and Beth and I are going to take a little dive on it, bring it to the commission next meeting, share the list with the commissioners, and see if there's any appetite for taking parcels. They almost never meet our criteria for like lot size, but it's always worth looking at the list. If it's abutting an existing property that we can kind of expand.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll have that for the commissioners next meeting. Next we have reporting compliance. Val.
Nothing new here. We're going to set up a committee meeting. I have a scheduled email going out later, but nothing new to report now.
Great. Still your floor with Net Zero Task Force.
Oh, yes. Last meeting was canceled, so nothing new to report there.
Thank you, Val. Mr. Foote.
Thank you,
Mr. Foote, my question to you is are we time sensitive on that property disposal stuff? Does that take a little while to happen? Those properties the town needs to, like, they put them in auction at some point eventually. Does that take some time?
A little bit of time, yeah.
Okay. All right. I just got the email, so I don't know how quickly that process takes.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a process to it.
Okay, good. All right, so we have a little time to examine it. All right, you have the floor, Mr. Foote.
Thank you. So as everyone knows, we had an election last month, and we have 2 new counselors. Well, one is a returning counselor. Dave Mills is the counselor at large. He was filling a vacancy. He won the election, so he's the at-large counselor. Dan Healy is the District 3 counselor. We have a new chair, and that will be Aaron Spencer. Jack Webb is the vice chair, and I'm the third signatory. Tomorrow, the town council is on the consent agenda for the Ashley Drive, and then that will have to have some public hearings after that, a couple of meetings after that. So probably within the next month or so, whatever happens tomorrow, I don't want to speak for the council, so I'm not sure what will happen, but it is on the agenda tomorrow to be taken up. And then, as we know, Earth Day is April 22nd, and the Pinkerton National Honor Society will be assisting me at the cemetery. We'll be restarting the cemetery project. For those who don't know, we go up there, we take care of the veterans' headstones, we clean them up and whatnot. And with Memorial Day coming up, it's a good opportunity. So if anybody's around on April 23rd and they want to help, they're more than glad to come up. And that would be 23rd. So Earth Day is on 22nd, but Pinkerton, they're doing the service project on the 23rd.
23rd.
So I'll be up there all day with them. So if anyone's available on the 23rd and they'd like to come up, just reach out to me. Probably from like 9 a.m. to like 3 p.m.-ish. And if any questions, you can reach out to me prior to that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Charlie, are you remaining our liaison?
Yes, you're stuck with me for another year.
No, that's great.
It's not a bad thing.
I'm sorry, Rick.
How's your mapping program going on up there? Is that still in the baby step stages, or?
Sure. Yes, Jim Ash, he's a veteran from the VFW who's been working a lot on that. So he uncovered many more headstones that weren't even documented with the town. So we have well over 1,500 up at the cemetery.
Wow.
So we are still working on the process of
There's some
actually mapping it out.
Real interesting ones up there, too.
Yeah. So for those who haven't been up there, it's a lot of historical knowledge up there if you go up there and walk around the old section. And then we do have a lot of decorated veterans that are interned up there, so. And it's beautiful to walk up there on a nice spring
Oh,
morning.
yeah, on a nice day. It's
Yeah.
wonderful, yeah.
So,
Charlie, we've been level funded at about $5,000 a year for our administrative account. We get money from different places, but the one bit of money that we get from the town is $5,000. We're self-funded. We're one of the few kind of groups in town that is self-funded. But the town does give us $5,000 in admin money that we use specifically for administrative services. Our administrative services budget has ballooned with the addition of our 2 employees. What would be the best opportunity, and when would be the opportunity to petition the town council to expand or try to get an increase in those funds?
Well, now we start the budget this week. So we have our, I actually wrote the dates down. April 9th, 16th, 21st, and 23rd, we're having our budget meetings. And then they'll have the hearing at the end of the month on all of those, and we'll vote on that. So those who don't know, we have a tax cap on the town side of things, which is tied to the CPI, and the current CPI is 3.3%. And I know it's going to be very tight. For those who don't know, health insurance went up 27% this past year, and that really decimated a lot of our funding. I will talk to the town administrator tomorrow and ask about that.
Do any of any of those admin accounts that other commissions, because I think every commission gets a little bit of admin money, right? Every committee, like planning and zoning, everyone gets a little amount of money, right?
Not everybody, I don't think. Yeah.
The ones that do they have a CPI attached to it, or is it just on a month annual process?
It's whatever is given to them.
Well, if you could bring that up to leadership, that our administrative costs have gone up significantly, with an additional matching workload output. I think our work output has gone up, 100-fold from what it used to be. So I don't think it's a stretch to try to ask for an increase in those funds.
Yeah, I'd have to look honestly. Our budget books about. Rick can attest to this, about 6 inches thick, it's like this thick, and that's why we break it up into different segments. Right. We do it line by line and go through and whatnot. So if there was any flexibility, we could try to sneak it in, but I don't really know what that looks like right now without having gone through everything. So
maybe let's start the conversation.
I will definitely speak with Mr. Fowler tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mr. Metz would be happy to come represent the commission and plead our case. Thank you, Charlie.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
All right, land manager report. Beth, you're up.
All right, so yes, as Jay mentioned, the community garden registration opened on April 1st, and as of today, we've had 28 inquiries and 35 of the 36 plots have been claimed. Wow. However, we still have the 2 raised beds as well, so the raised beds haven't been claimed, so those are out there as well. We've been able to use, as Jay mentioned, the Facebook group for the private Facebook group for community gardeners as a source of photos for public outreach. So that's been nice. And I did get in touch with the same gentleman who tilled the gardens last year, and he is going to be able to help us with that. Again, we haven't set a date because last year it was very dependent on the weather, so I just said we're going to keep an eye on the weather, keep an eye on the soil, and I will call you when it looks like it's ready to be done. We also have a few sources of composted cow manure that we can spread on the garden this year as well. And I'll be coordinating with that gentleman. For public outreach, we got 2 inquiries from citizens asking how they can help with trash pickup for Earth Day. And I know Eileen is coordinating that and heading that off with the kickoff event at the Coffee Factory April 18th has been mentioned. So there was one mom who actually her son goes to the same school that my son goes to. So I know her, yeah. And she wants to take a group of kiddos out to do some trash pickup. And then there was also an inquiry from someone who has a group of employees who they offer, they offer compensation for their employees to go out and do trash pickup. So there are a couple of groups there who are looking for some trash pickup to do. With the NHACC initiative, I had a meeting with Barbara. We've confirmed the date for the BioBlitz, so that is going to be June 27th, and the time is still to be determined, but it will be at Broadview. So Saturday, June 27th at Broadview is our BioBlitz, and Stephen, forget his last name, from Moosewood Ecological is going to be there to show everybody how to identify the different species, and walk us through the space with that lens. And he's also offering through the grant that the NHACC has for this project, they can offer an online training for commissioners and also members of the public, but primarily for commissioners. They can offer a training on how to use iNaturalist, and they'll set up an account for us with iNaturalist. It's actually like a web page, basically, that will show, all the different species that have been identified by anybody who is using that account, and it'll kind of consolidate it all in one very nice, neat place. So we're still working out the details of what that training will look like. So expect an update on that at the next meeting. And we've been very busy with the Community Wildfire Protection Plan. So we did have a discussion panel the Wednesday after our last meeting, and that was televised, went very well. We have a landing page up for that project as well on the town website. So if you go to derrynh.org or .gov rather now, and go to the Conservation Commission page, there is on the sidebar there, on the green sidebar, a landing page for the Community Wildfire Protection Plan with some of the questions that participants asked and some of the information and resources that were mentioned in the presentation. So that's on there. We had another field assessment this past weekend at Cole Marsh, and found some really interesting fire-adapted communities there. So a fire-adapted community is a group of plants that has evolved to thrive in fire conditions. So the fire will sweep through the landscape, and these plants can thrive there. And blueberries and huckleberries are two yummy plants that are considered a fire-adapted species. So that's exciting. So we found some huckleberry and some pitch pine there, some really interesting communities. There is also Wildfire Community Preparedness Day on May 2nd, and the committee is discussing having an event or some kind of public outreach on that May 2nd. So basically, that is one, it's national. So Wildfire Community Preparedness Day is a national effort to show people what they can do on their properties to help fortify your home from the potential of wildfire. And then we can talk about the leaves at Broadview. So I have met with Clint Havens in DPW about that. We identified another possible location, which is by the community gardens for those leaves. And Eileen had reached out about wanting to look at the location of that. And Jay, I believe, also reached out wanting to look at the location of that. So now that it's spring, we can take a walk out there. And look at that. And he said that location would work for a single year as far as like the volume of leaves and the volume of the space that's available. So it would work for potentially at least this fall, and so that we can kind of kick the can down the road if we need to, right? And we also have some plans to try to eat up those leaves as part of the community garden, to just utilize them so that maybe we don't need a storage place, more just like a temporary storage until we actually
So we could
use
try
the leaves.
composting them, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's really a
Yeah.
good move.
Yep. And that is the end of my report.
The leaf thing, Beth.
I just talked about that.
Okay, good. Hey, look, no laughing.
We were having a sidebar. I
I noticed.
apologize.
We were talking about money, though, so. DerryCAM, our meeting today. Want to talk about it? I'll do it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So we met with Owen before this meeting. Actually, Owen came to us, congratulated us on our success, and wants to be more involved in documenting our progress. So we're going to have a standing meeting with Owen at our, and Ricky, you might have to take one of these, some of these meetings. So it's going to be at 6:30 at our first monthly meeting. So whenever our first monthly meeting is, we're going to have a standing meeting at 6:30 with Owen. And we're going to, so we spent today highlighting May. So projects that we're doing in May, he's going to be participating in the ones that we want to highlight and getting them up on Derry TV, and then, we can share them to our Facebook site. So that's exciting. I think that's exciting. It's, it's one of the things we need to do, and we'll talk about kind of prioritizing. Some of the things that came up was informing the public the benefits of conservation property gifts or conservation property sales, highlighting the advantage of doing that to folks. Other things we talked about is having participating in a kind of virtual nature walk at the conservation properties, where he'll follow someone through one of our conservation properties and document some of the highlights of it, and then turn it into a production that could be used. And I envision that production eventually landing into some sort of virtual space when we're talking, when we eventually at the end game, when you can go on our site and choose Coal Marsh, that video will pop up so people can get kind of an idea of what that is. So it's kind of the basis for that stuff. So that's exciting, and we're gonna be doing that every month. And I want to also commend Beth in her tireless work between meetings. Beth is doing a real lot. I can't even keep up with her on the phone calls, but we're doing the community's work, and I think it's going really well. I have nothing else for other business. Any other commissioners have anything they want to add? Suggestions, topics? It's good to see Val.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm looking at the proposed meeting dates, and I think July 6th, maybe we want to kick that back to the 13th, because it's the July 4th all-encompassing weekend holiday. Just my thought. It's up to you. It's actually up to the commission. That would be my suggestion as far as any other business changes.
What do people, I wouldn't be here for July 6th in any event. So how do people feel about July?
I think Rick's suggestion is pretty apropos. Some people might not be around that weekend and week.
I'm just thinking.
So the 13th, I think, is a good suggestion.
We could,
Or would you just forego July?
yeah, I think, so I wouldn't be able to be at probably any July meeting.
Really?
Yeah, just because July is a busy time of the this year it's going to be my busiest month in a long time. I would not be opposed to just not having a July meeting. If something came up and we had to schedule something, then we could.
I was just going to say, what about block out the 13th, but make it as needed,
As needed?
just so that
Yeah.
it's blocked out. People would have it on their calendar and then,
Because either day, I'm here, I'm just thinking that for everybody else, the
Yeah.
6th is not convenient. So I have no problem if we're gonna, I would have no problem with that suggestion. Block it if we need it,
It might
call
be
it a week
nice
ahead of
to,
time.
yeah, it might be nice to have a meeting on the 13th, just, I was just saying to Beth, we want to keep our pulse on that landscape management initiative, and there might be something to discuss.
So am I hearing we should just move it to the 13th?
I see
Yes,
heads
I'd be okay with that,
nodding,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, so we'll move the July 6th meeting to July 13th.
Okay.
It's nice having those on there so that we can talk about that ahead of time, right?
Whose idea was that? That was a good idea.
That was your idea.
That's a good pickup, Rick, because that's 2 days after the 4th, so a lot of people.
So then, would we still meet with Owen? If we, because that would be the first meeting of the month. We can
Yes.
cross that bridge when we come to it, that's 3 months away, so.
No, I think we should probably tell, because Owen was putting he was putting it in his calendar as we were talking about it, so why don't we? why don't we,
I have, from the meeting that we had with Owen earlier, I had a whole list of things that dates and things that I'm getting to him, so I'll include that with it.
All right, while we're looking at those dates, any other dates we need to talk about? That was July 13th, right? July 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my anniversary.
Is it? Oh,
That 9/21 is my
The 4th, I
anniversary.
don't, the 4th I
Oh, is
might
it?
not be here.
May 4th?
Yeah. Coming back from Dollywood.
No, it's not yet. No, just. So it's the May 4th. I'm fine with the rest of those dates.
I'm just checking the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good the 4th.
Okay.
Okay, so then the only one moving is 7/6 to 7/13.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on other business? No? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Metz, second by Cheryl. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're done. Nice work.